All right, Xanafer, probably a quick one here, but a little checkup because you check up on Stadia. So I'm going to check up a bit on the Mixer game.
Oh, let's do it.
I mean, it's just, we could probably keep this fairly quick because, yes, there's still Mixer haters out there. I think even the haters of me hating on Mixer are kind of fading away because they realize they haven't made a move.
Yeah, they have been really quiet. Yeah.
You know, the last one I remember actually being Ewok, and I thought they were going to make more progressive moves of smaller tier streamers after that. And we've seen a lot of things go quiet. I'm just not really sure where this is going to go, especially we've talked to our camera guy, Pete, about this. No official numbers because tracking that stuff is still very difficult. We've seen Ninja kind of retain the same. Shroud's actually growing again, but you know those two have actually grown to the point where they are your biggest streamers on the platform, or at least two of the three, and they're almost kind of combating with each other to try and see who can hold the most viewers
I
between
imagine,
them.
yeah, it's a limited audience, so you only have so many people who can potentially be watching your stream.
I mean, yeah, talking to other people, they put it in a great way. Just like you said, you have a fixed audience right now. It's proven that the audience on Mixer is not really growing, and so you have a set amount of viewers every single day. And so, yeah, your top streamers are now competing to keep those, and they have not reached numbers that are anywhere showing too much of a growth sign. So it certainly is confusing, and especially when we kind of relate it to a couple other things, the first of which is actually who else is going to be joining, because Pokimane, I think, is an example I've used time and time again. She had a big announcement several months ago. It still has, nothing has come yet, and I swear, my own innards is saying that it's going to be a Mixer announcement, but she saw this kind of stuff and was thinking, I don't know if it's worth me going there.
I don't know if Mixer would have been the move for Pokimane specifically.
Yeah, we've seen a bunch of people who belong to Loaded Agency, and all we've seen ever since the latest Mixer signing is more people re-signing to Twitch or going to YouTube.
Yeah.
And nothing really else. And so it kind of draws the question, if you're a non-Mixer streamer and you see these two big streamers not really doing much and kind of stagnating, what do you like? Where do you go, or do you stay?
Yeah, I think at this point, a lot of streamers must be looking at the numbers that Ninja and Shroud are getting, right, and looking at them as formerly the biggest people on Twitch, and where they're at right now, and they're thinking, okay, so realistically speaking, we haven't seen a ton of content creators be content creators for like a decade plus, right?
Yeah.
Just because it is still a relatively new industry, right? And it is a very volatile industry at the same time.
Sorry, I just wanted before it, streamers and content creators.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Content creators have been around for a while, not necessarily the combination of both.
And I imagine a lot of people are looking to secure themselves. So just in case something happens down the line, in case they hit a big scandal, a big, like, there's some kind of weird crash or whatever, and all of a sudden they're out all the money that they were making, they need to be stable. And I don't think Mixer is looking like a very stable option unless they're getting paid, like, enormously by Microsoft at the front door.
Totally agree, which means Mixer's going to have to double dip and say, all right, we're going to go after some people, and we realize it's going to be now, it's very obvious it's a risk. You know, before, I think when this first started happening, when Ninja first made the move, I think a lot more people were thinking, this is it. This is the wave. It's going to shift. It's going to shift the tides.
I mean, Mixer sounds good just on paper.
Yeah.
Like you say, oh, Microsoft's doing it. You say Microsoft, oh, huge company. They know what they're doing in terms of streaming. They've got all this backing. They say, oh, we're fixing a lot of the problems Twitch has. We're thinking about new ways to pay people.
Higher quality streams in most cases. You know, they got a lot of the qualities that Twitch has. And now ever since then, they've slowed the moves. The growth has stagnated. We've only seen people actually sign back to Twitch, or we've seen people go to Facebook. We've seen Caffeine trying to do their own thing with different people. And meanwhile, I don't know, more people aren't talking about this. Mixer has not said a single thing in a long, long time. And the last time we talked about Mixer was actually controversy of like view bots and people kind of manipulating the Spark system. And so I don't know about your timeline. We'll end on this. You know, give me a timeline at the maximum from now, today, that you're actually going to be very, very worried that Mixer is just not going to survive. Like, who do they have to sign in a certain period of time, or what do they have to do in the next 6 months?
I don't think it's about signing people at this point. I think we know that does not work. That signing creators does not bring the fans of those creators necessarily over to their new platform. I think at this point they need to focus on adding features to Mixer. They need to focus on. They need to just grab a list of what do people dislike about Twitch and YouTube, and just fix all of that, put it on Mixer, and then add like an extra incentive for people to at least have a Mixer account, if not using it actively. Like I think I've said before on the podcast, make some kind of partnership with Game Pass, which is another Microsoft property. Game Pass is doing amazingly right now, like literally millions of people using it. So if you can say like, hey, we'll tie in to your Game Pass subscription, throw in another $3 or whatever, and you get Mixer and tie that into the games on Game Pass, like get some integration going there.
They need
I think
that.
there's potential. I think if we don't see something like that, some kind of big, huge push to really bring new people to Mixer.
Would you say this year's the year?
I'd say I'd give it like one more year after this year.
Okay.
I'd say if by the end of 2021, it's kind of donezo from there. Because then by then, I think Huya will be over here.
Oh, yeah. And we're going to be in a weird time.
Yeah.
It's going to be these next 2 years are going to be crazy. I'll end on that. I agree. We've talked about before. They need an equivalent of a Twitch Prime to support not only the creators, but also want people to go over there because they're no longer having to pay to get all the access that they get for free on Twitch with their Twitch Primes. But also when it comes to clipping and VODs, they don't do that very well yet. And so that's got to be, I mean, their clipping feature still is, to me, not even close to what Twitch gets. So we'll see how it goes. And then then you throw in a whole other oddball of YouTube. It's going to be a next 2 years of really, really weird features when it comes to comparing all of these streaming platforms. We will see if Mixer can bounce back in the next year or two.